Show for today. The topic is the athletic program at Tennessee State University, and we're talking to the athletic sports information director at Tennessee State University, Mr. JFranks, and the volunteer coach with the Tennessee State University football team, Mr. Fred Metcalf. I think, gentlemen, before we had our second break, we were talking about some of the problems involved in college athletics in terms of the classics and whatnot, and gender equity. But now let's, during the last part of this show, the last 5 minutes that we have, let's give both of you an opportunity to talk about some of the things that you'd like to talk about, some of the things that we've not talked about. And I think one of the most important things is to talk about agencies. That is, people who are agents who are after your football players, I think, Mr. Metcalf, in order to make them the $50 million professional offer. Let's talk about what are some of the rules and regulations, Mr. Frank, dealing with that.
Well, first, talking about sports agents in general, you know, it's unfortunate that the bad ones in the business really tarnish the whole industry. I mean, it's just like when you're dealing with car salesmen or whatever the case may be, where people automatically assume that you're going to try to take advantage of them. And with sports agents, the bad ones really ruin the good ones' reputations in the sense that they don't care about the athlete. They only care about what kind of money it's going to make for them. They don't care who they hurt in the process of getting this particular athlete to sign with them. And you've seen cases from basically most of the schools in the country, from Alabama to you name it. People have run into problems with sports agents. And it's obviously something that not only the state of Tennessee, but most states across the country are passing legislation to make sure that these problems go away and they don't exist. It's definitely a problem that's really occurred probably in the last 10 years. I'm sure it's a situation you probably never had to go through too much when you were in the 50s or 60s.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, very few scouts, you know, were looking at our players, even though we had some very talented football players. You know, probably during the year we'd have maybe 1 or 2 scouts would come by. But I see now on the field, probably every day there's someone there, you know, scouting the team. So it's a lot different.
You know, one thing I think that to sort of reinforce that is something that I've said to a number of athletes all along, that no matter how, where you play, that if you are good, you really can't hide under a rock, which is to say that this is a day and age that certainly it might be good to play in front of the 90,000 stadiums. But if you are good, you see that no matter where you are, or how large your school is, or whatever, somebody will find you. And so I think that in that sense, it gives more people an opportunity to become involved in the game.
Well, Tennessee State had, of course, had its first player in the NFL drafted in 1961. And each year since then, except for one, we've had either a player drafted or signed as a free agent. So as you were talking about, if you have talent, people are going to find that. But I think a lot of times the young men today are too eager to go for the money. There's just too much money out there. It's basically football, baseball, basketball. It's turned into a business. And I think that, you know,